Okay, good evening, guys. We are back on the Footy
Hello.
Talk, our second show.
Good evening. Good
Thanks
Hello,
for
evening.
hello.
joining us. Please
Hey
like,
guys. Hey everyone.
subscribe for the page.
Hi, good evening.
We have 4 new persons today. Let me introduce Rajan, Ellen Go, Pua, Dave B. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. How's the day?
Okay. It's not too bad. Weather's pretty alright, I guess. Football wise.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
quite a week with the Champions League and the Europa League. United has been kicked off. So what's your thought about that?
Uneventful week actually for United fans here. Well, I believe a lot of United fans would have foreseen the result, and how to say it is inevitable to see them getting knocked out. You know, the players are running out of steam. The team is just inadequate. The backups are not strong. It is the writing is on the wall. There is there. Everyone knew it. We're just glad we finished the season as high as possible. I believe maybe it's not just me, one United fan thinking like this. I think most United fan would be on the same board with me. I don't know others.
I mean, they were just running on additional luck towards the end games.
Yeah.
So they have to start back from the start. Okay, having said that, maybe let's talk about our Champions League. I mean, there were some interesting games. Some underdogs moving up. Barcelona got hammered.
Oh, beautiful.
Paris made to their first semi-final, finally.
Yep.
And Lyon upsetting the Money Kings. Why not we go with the first? How about Atletico against Salzburg? You had the great Simeone with his rigid game against the Germans. So what's your thought about that? Wow.
No, don't get me wrong. I think Atletico Madrid were firm favorite to go through to the semi-final.
Yes.
But looking back at the game for 90 minutes, they don't deserve it at all. The Germans got it right. The young German manager got it right. And Simeone, can you believe he bought someone for 100+ million and he make him sit on the bench? I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Yes, 107 million. One of the hottest prospect in the European football, or if not world football, and he make him sit on the bench. And even I'm not saying this being Liverpool fan. Even I know Atletico Madrid knocked us out from the second round, but I know that overall we were the better team. It just the few moments actually cost us the match, especially our keeper were poor. But apart from that, we totally bossed Atletico Madrid. They were too negative. They were too defensive. It seems like Simeone got extra tips from Jose Mourinho to handle teams that play expensive football, attacking football. But it didn't work out against RB Leipzig. So I think I'm very sure all of us would agree with me that the Germans deserve to go through to the semi-final.
I mean, Kate, the Germans deserve to go through, but let's talk about Simeone's purchases. You look at the bench of Madrid, Atletico Madrid. You have the likes of Lima, Morata. He has one of the best attacking fronts in Europe with flash, but yet he goes back with his rigid football. What's your thought on that, Rajan?
He's a guy who like to rely on what he's comfortable with. If you look at his track record, it's very, as you guys mentioned, it's very rigid. It doesn't seem that he has plan B, plan C, and it backfired. He always tried to, he's an excellent man management skills there. He can motivate the players. Players will die for him on the pitch. But how long? This is highest level of football. You need to have more than that. And for seasons, he have been going through with it. He have been getting results. I think the Liverpool game exposed him. He didn't, like Pua said, he didn't do anything extra. He got the result, and he just banked on it. It seems for a guy who is this experienced as a player and as a coach, he just just bantai saja. Kita boleh. It doesn't work that way, man. Football, and your opponent will learn from your mistakes. Will learn from your advantages, and people are looking at you and learning. And he didn't learn. He's the guy who didn't learn, and everyone learned. And he's the guy. You remember the guy we would copy his homework in class, and end up this guy never studied, and everyone studied and got better than him and aced the exam. Hopefully, it would be a wake-up call for him, because he still has the capabilities to be a top coach at the highest level. But what's new from him? What more we can expect from him after this? He has been failing in La Liga. He has one title to back him up, and after that, what's that? The team is about him now. He has the players. He couldn't draw the best out of the players for few seasons already. There are questions need to be asked. Maybe I think he has 2 seasons to salvage his career. For me, I'm not convinced. I don't know how you guys rate him, but for the time being, I think the stock is dropping. He's not a top coach. He's not going to coach Argentina for the World Cup anytime soon. It's just that limited.
I mean, we have a comment from Sena here.
No.
It does. I mean, it's true, but as we said about Simeone becoming the top coach, let's look at the other side of the dugout. Julian Nagelsmann, 33 years old, got rid of Jose Mourinho, got rid of Diego Simeone. Are we thinking, is this the next big name? What do you all think? Dave,
yeah.
Julian Nagelsmann, this guy, what I read about him, he's been inspired by Jurgen Klopp. I think the most of the game tactics, gameplay, if you see how Leipzig plays in Bundesliga, they just press, and press. They just have that tremendous tactical nous and mental strength to overcome any team. And what we learn from there, and this is how some of those German managers impose their tactical into the game. They have Sabitzer, the wizard. He's just wizard. He just runs the show for Leipzig. So I feel that Nagelsmann is a big name in few years' time, and I hope that he comes to Liverpool after Jurgen Klopp left.
So do you guys think Leipzig can go all the way to the final, or they found their match? They'll be finding their match in semi-finals.
I think it will be a good test for PSG. A very, very good test for PSG. And PSG does not play any pressing game. They don't play pressing game. They are flair, fantastic football kind of stuff. It will be a very good test for Thomas Tuchel.
Okay, let's zoom into that. Right, let's talk about our second game, the Champions League. Atalanta versus Paris. Alan, what do you think about that game? How do you view the game?
Man, I was really upset. I was going for Atalanta. I mean, Gasperini has done wonders.
They were just inches away from semi-final.
Yeah.
But wasn't Neymar on his world class? I think he played one of his best game on that night.
Yes, he did.
Well, credit, yes, he did. But I think Atalanta were also losing one of their key men who's had to go back to Slovenia because of personal problems. But when you look at how Atalanta has played in the league and the amount of goals that they've scored and how attacking they are for a team that's got a lot of old players, I think they've overachieved, and I would have loved to have seen them go further in the Champions League. I think PSG at the end of the day, all credit to them. They bought the talent. They continued to press the team, and you could see that Atalanta were very, very tired. Right up until the end, they were really tired, and
they were holding the game fine, great. But you saw the lapse of defense in the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
You could clearly see that the tiredness has taken a toll towards them.
Yep.
But could we see them a bigger challenge from Atalanta next year, since they'll be back in the Champions League?
That's hard to say, dude. okay, if you look at Atlanta and you think of all that they've done this season, right? I believe that it would take them quite a bit of investment to try and sort of replicate what they've done this season and to try and do better next season, right? Because if you look at the key players, from Illich to Gomez, even Zapata himself and stuff, right? These guys are all like what, average age of 30, right?
Yes.
So they need a bit more youth and energy in the team. Although their fullbacks, are actually of a good age, right? When you look at I can't pronounce his name, but the Belgian, right?
Yes.
Castane and you look at the German Hattenbo and stuff, the Dutch, sorry, and they've got a lot of talent bombing the wings with their fullbacks. But I think in midfield itself, and especially in defense, I think they need a bit more energy, a bit more youth. They need to freshen things up a bit in order for them to still, how should I say, build upon the success of this season itself.
I believe that being the underdog factor is the one that pushed them all the way PSG, because do or die, they are the big PSG, they're the biggest thing ever in Europe. They have the money, they have the talent, they have things, so they pushed. Yeah, not denying they have grit, they have that ability, but again, Atalanta is still Atalanta. I don't think Neymar's magic made that match, but I do think PSG would still have something. It goes to extra time, they could still get the result from that game. They are still, they're not the elite, but they still have way much in the tank to go all the way and wrap it in. It's like, for me, I see maybe it's some sort of cat toying with his victim, that sort of thing in that match, because somehow deep inside, most football fans would felt that, hey, it's eventually ini jadi, PSG will go through. One side, they deserve it with whatever happened previous season, their disappointment, even United knocked them out, Barcelona knocked them out. So there's a sense of their time is coming. They have run out of luck, and unfortunately, Atalanta is the team that gave PSG the luck this time. They pushed them, but that luck factor, when everything, the odds all come into balance at the end of the season, PSG got through. Sad to say, like Aaron said, a lot of enforcement needed. They are not a financially strong club. Most probably some of the players will be pinched. I hope not. If they have also, they have a lot of strengthening to do. Let's see if they can be consistent there in Serie A first, and then maybe they can build on. Maybe they can be another Sevilla, they can be another Atletico. But for them, I foresee that being stable, it's their first target, their priority next season. I don't know. I feel they are a little bit not there yet, not prepared. They're not a bad team, but football is management and everything, and club finances. Let's see how they are in that sense first, before we talk about next season being a contender. Sorry if I offended any Atalanta fans, any Serie A fans, but I think there's some decline from Serie A teams. There are a lot of catching up to do financially, a lot of catching up to do, especially in finance terms.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sena. We're only talking about teams who are still playing. Liverpool got knocked out earlier.
United fans just left the chat room also quiet. Liverpool sudah lama keluar lah, bro.
Okay, let's talk. For me, the game of the week is Lyon and Man City. Guardiola with his spendings, with his tactician, we say it's a mastermind, master skill, whatever skills. He couldn't find his match against Rudy Garcia, a coach that was sacked by Rashford.
Yep.
And sitting 8th in the league. So
who's
guys,
going to who's going to throw the first punch? Let's take the punch first. Oh,
I want to go first.
Yes,
man.
I think even before the kickoff, I think Lyon at the advantage because of the formation Pep Guardiola played, which is 3-5-2. That was strange.
Okay.
That was strange.
Talking about the formation for, was Guardiola afraid with Lyon? Because of what happened the previous season when they did not win any of the matches against them in the group? Because Guardiola went with a very defensive tactic, 2 holding midfielders in the middle, 3 at the back. When he had Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Phil Foden, Mahrez, every single attacking player sitting in the back.
No, I don't think so.
Preparing for the semi-finals.
Yes. The thing is, I think he took Lyon for granted. This Lyon team is not the Lyon team in the past. Like, they had the likes of Fekir in their ranks. They were much more better team, much more solid. Yes. So I don't think Pep Guardiola kind of fear facing Lyon. So he gone with the different formation, tactics, or whatsoever. But for me, it didn't work out at all. Especially in the first half, Lyon, I think, were the better team. Yes. They had more shots on goal, and they were leading as well, deservedly. For me, if you ask me, if not for Kevin De Bruyne, Man City wouldn't have scored that 1 goal also. I don't think so.
Kevin De Bruyne was all over the pitch.
Was all over the pitch, and of course, I know Sterling missed that sitter, but he was one of their better players as well for City, despite that sitter.
What a miss! What a miss!
Yeah, I thought it's going to extra time, and eventually, as Rajan said just now, you know what? End of the day, they're gonna win. Stuff like that. So I thought, it's the end of the day, is Man City going to win in the extra time. But I was happy, obviously. For me, I am someone like anyone but Man City. So for me, I was very happy that Lyon got the win, and Pep getting all the stick, all the criticism, pressure, of course, for whatever he spent over the last few seasons. For me, he and Man City won't get a better chance to win the Champions League, or at least face Bayern Munich in the semi-final. Because for me, I've been saying since the beginning of the season, Bayern Munich is the favorite to win this competition, and I think they will go and win it. I know some people would hope Lyon do another upset and stuff like that, and then RB Leipzig. Sorry, man, I think Bayern Munich is too good for all of them. Yep. And on the paper, they are. Look at it. They have the likes of Coutinho. They even can play without Coman. They can rest few players. They can even start. They actually have, I would say, 16 solid players in total. So they can bring on at least 4 or 5 players from the bench and change the game. Kimmich can play. Kimmich can play in midfield. Kimmich can play as a right back. They can afford to rest Thiago Alcantara and then rely on Kimmich and Goretzka. They have options. They can rest Coutinho. They can even rest Gnabry. So for me, they are too good, and they should go and win it. And regarding this Man City game, I think I would say Lyon didn't do something really special. I won't say that. I think they came with a plan. They want to sit. They want to defend properly. And they did. Yes, and then and then hope in counter attack. And eventually they got it. End of the day, it's 3-1. End of the day, it's 3-1.
They actually had a plan. Let me tell you what. They had 6 academy players in their squad, 3 in the starting 11, average of 25.
Yes.
So they just used the energy to outpace City. That 6 academy, 3 of them starting, so many beautiful stories. These local kids just did wonders for Lyon.
And that player, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Akim Aho? Akamo. He was immense. Immense. For me, he was man of the match. He was.
Yeah, he was nice.
he was simply brilliant on the day.
And mind that Leon had a very terrible start under Juninho. I mean, their former legend. And so Garcia did a great job. I mean, he just went on and signed on with Leon, and he took them to semi-finals. It's a good achievement.
And also this is the evidence that Man City were simply not good enough this season. There's a reason why they finished 18 points behind Liverpool. The reason why they got knocked out by Arsenal in the semi-final FA Cup.
Yeah.
I know people saying that they didn't replace Vincent Kompany. For me, that's not the reason alone. For me, they have more than one aspect on the pitch to improve.
Do you think Pep's been a bit?
Are you telling me that Liverpool won because City was average?
No, Liverpool just did what they had to do. City didn't do what they had to do.
Yes.
For me, I see Guardiola confirm being fraudiola. It's simple as that. You had everything. You had the best player. You spent a lot, and you couldn't even beat like Leon, who how to say, this team that who have nothing much in their tank. It's very limited in terms of ability. But you look at how they play. They only have a few. Hold on, guys.
Alan, what do you think about our flawed Diola? Is he flawed, or is he the best manager ever we have seen? Because if you look, his greatest time came only in Barca. Then Bayern, he had the money. City, he had the money. So what has he achieved in general?
Well, I think he's generally had it very good. Starting with Barcelona. I mean, the team he inherited from Frank Rijkaard was already a championship winning material, right? And he was just being able to implement his new ideas of football, his new philosophy, which, at the end of the day, it is Barcelona's style through and through. And he's managed to take things up another level with Barcelona. And I mean, come on, sad to say, even a monkey could manage Barcelona, with that kind of talent and still win something, right?
A monkey with a suit.
Yeah, exactly. A bald monkey with a suit could have done something with that Barcelona team, right? And he goes on to Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich had just won the treble with Heikels, right?
Yes.
And I mean, it's a no-brainer. He had the luxury of everything. He had youth, he had money, he had talent. What else could he ask for? And he comes to Man City, where, give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got pretty much almost everything set up for him. City spent a truckload of money, right? Doing up the academy, doing up the club, getting the players, setting the foundation just for Guardiola to arrive. I mean, ex-Barcelona upper management was there, right? And when he's gotten free reign to spend on players, I don't think he's done it wisely. The players that he's brought in, and the money that he spent, and if you look at the silverware that City has just won, or rather they've won with him, I don't think it's enough.
I mean, City has spent easily 200,000 million in just fullbacks. We are not talking about any other positions. Let's not talk about tankers.
And they consider goals from so-called Farmer League team. That is embarrassing.
Yep. No, I totally agree. I think one of the if you would try and dissect City and their performances this season, I would think that losing that leadership and character in Kompany was irreplaceable, and they never managed to replace that. Because he told them across the line multiple times, and they never replaced him, and they couldn't replace him. And you could see when heads were down, when things got a bit rough, they couldn't pull through, right? They were lacking a bit of that leadership. I would think that next season, they would definitely spend the money. That's for sure. I mean, I think everyone that's beaten Man City has pretty much pissed them off. So that checkbook's going to come out, and they're going to spank everyone with it. And whether or not they buy the right players, the right personality, right characters in, that's up to Guardiola right now. Because I mean, okay, if you look at that debate between Mourinho and Guardiola, right, and everyone's either Team Mourinho or Team Guardiola, right? I've been asked this question a few times, and I personally like Mourinho because of the challenges that he's had to go through with all the various teams that he's managed. You know, when you look at how he started from Porto, what he's done, then he went to Chelsea, what he's done with Chelsea, then he's moved on to Real Madrid and then Inter, right? So with all the challenges that's laid, or rather the challenges that he's taken, right? No, I mean United was one. I think at the end of the day, if he's given time, no matter, I mean, yes, a lot of people were complaining about his football, right? And everyone knows Mourinho's football is not exactly pretty or attractive in that sense, but he's there for wins and results. When your team wins the treble based on ugly football, who remembers the football?
Yeah,
exactly.
Again,
right?
Result matter rather than performance in the end. When
Exactly.
titles, trophies, that's what people talk about. People have talking about when the football was even worse than Mourinho. But getting back to Guardiola, this is a guy who motivates the other players, talks about the opponent's players, criticize and try to motivate them. He couldn't motivate his own defenders. He couldn't find a replacement when his captain left the team. That is very jarring in terms of how could you not, you have so many world-class players in your team, spend so much money on the defense, you lose one player and you couldn't mold one player to replace that legendary role playing captain of your team. So it raises more question. He's a guy who works with talents who are already there. That this strengthens the views of people who think he can only work with talents who are already established, players who are established, those who are international cap, those who are World Cup finalists, semi-finalists, European champions. It's simple as that. That exposed. When you look at Mourinho or you look at Klopp, they created players who are nobodies. He elevates them to another level. That's what makes a coach as a legend. You make someone. You don't work with an end product. You are part of producing that end product, elevating players. And you look at City, all of them, they have fallen, but look back at the other players, you don't see anyone's game who have improved or added another dimension in their game. Maybe Sterling, but I think Sterling is a genius player. He's eventually going to reach that peak where he's more confident with his play, more in tune with his instinct of scoring. But you look at the other players in the lineup. Do you see anyone who has become better? I don't think so.
So I do disagree to a certain extent because I do like what he's done with a lot of youngsters. He's definitely made them a lot better. Like if you take Joshua Kimmich, for instance, right? What he's done with him and the player he's become. And if you look at Barcelona, for instance, when he took the gamble with the academy players, right? Yep. And look what he's done. I think it's more, or rather the debate, right? It's more of what can he do without established players? Because, like as mentioned, he's been afforded a lot of luxuries. He takes over a Barcelona team where most of the spending has been done, and you get like people like Ronaldinho and all these fellas that's there. And then he goes over to Bayern, who's just won the treble, and that's another complete team as well, right? And he's just working with the youth to make sure that they transition into the first team and they continue from where they left off. Now with City, for instance, they've spent a truckload, as mentioned, just to make sure that he has the team that will enable him to win all the silverware that they want. But again, he keeps falling short somehow. And it's ridiculous, especially like what Vinoth mentioned. He spends so much money just on right backs and wing and left backs, right? And that's literally the cost of an entire Lyon team per se, right? And
Yes.
and they still get found out. And I just don't know, like, does he need to spend more money on more established defenders? Like,
Okay,
does
Alan.
he need to go and buy the entire Juventus backline to go and win something?
Alan,
He
can I
I
ask
just
you
need to
one straightforward?
refer back coaching manual and see how he can improve his players. He
Yeah.
get back to school, coaching school back. That's the only way. How
I
much
mean-
money more
no
can
doubt.
you spend?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
but
mean,
a simple question would be: will he win the Champions League with City in one quarter? You guys,
if I think he will win if he still stays at the club.
how long? What is the time frame we're looking at?
Time frame?
He has
I
been-
give him.
yeah.
So he's been there for 3 seasons now.
This is his fourth season.
Fourth
Sorry,
season.
Fourth season. Well, I give him another 2 and max.
2 max.
Yeah.
So
2
just say we give him 2 more seasons. He doesn't win. Will he be kicked out? Or
No,
will he
I
be
think
shot?
I think he will leave on his own
I think he
decision.
will leave.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's
I
move to
think
the next.
the Arab owners. I think he only have one more season. Tops. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
One more season.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
let's talk about the game of the week. Barcelona got hammered by Bayern.
Ooh.
What happened there? What gone wrong?
Do we have enough time
I mean,
to go into
we
such
have
detail?
we have a topic just for Barcelona, so we will keep it very short here.
Yeah,
Just to
very
say,
short.
talk about the game. Let's just talk about
Let me go with it.
Bayern. Or I mean, what we do, we just keep this whole conversation in our next topic, on the last topic, and let's move to our next topic about Pirlo coming back to Juventus.
Ooh.
Ooh.
This
The
is a
legend.
big thing. Juve signing up Pirlo, not handling one single match, just a week before given a contract for the under-23 teams. No experience, nothing, just got his coaching qualifications. So is it a gamble? Or what do you all think about this?
I think that it's a big gamble by Angeli to hire Pirlo as a Juventus manager. Great tactician, yes. Leader, yes. But he doesn't have an experience as a whole, like to transmit that to your teammates, then to your players as a manager. I mean, he was a teammate for most of the players that are in Juventus now. So I have a gut feeling saying either a big success or a flop, no in between. I mean, he's been a great tactician.
You have big names in Juventus, big egos. Your Bonucci's, your Ronaldo's, Dybala. But even in playing days, we know Pirlo was a quiet player. He wasn't the vocal, the most voicing out.
Yeah.
So can he manage the ego in the back?
It's all about transmitting the whole different concept of being from a player to a manager. So I mean, like you're right. He's been a very quiet, deep lying midfielder, playmaker. That's all the job. He scores beautiful goals, crosses and stuff like that. But as a manager, can we see him? It's a big gamble for Juventus, I believe.
What would have transpired for the board to take this gamble?
Sorry, dude. I mean, Sarri to me was the wrong appointment. I don't think he could keep the players in check. They were very against his tactics, and I mean it's almost the same like Barcelona, right? When you have the old guard that's there and that's been there for ages, they are very used to the way things are. They don't accept change as much. And I think Sarri just couldn't get the team on his side. However, I do agree that Pirlo will definitely get the team on his side, but I think there are bigger problems to the team, or rather bigger problems for the club to look at. I think one such thing is that I feel that Juventus, yes, as much as they've done amazing bargain hunting, being able to get really talented players in either for free or on the cheap, I don't think they necessarily fit the team, and I think they've stockpiled a bit one too many in certain areas. So it's a bit of a mess, and I think it's more of Pirlo trying to clear up this mess as opposed to getting the team to play properly. Because at the end of the day, they are an experienced team. They're all winners, no doubt, right? Winning the Serie A, they'll do it with their eyes closed again, right? Unless Lazio.
I mean, okay, if you're talking about Serie A, I think there'll be a huge fight next season because Juventus is an aging squad. There's not much depth there. They have depth, but in the wrong position, stockpile. And you
all
have
of Italy is aging, dude. Most of the teams are all old.
Yeah, but if you're talking about Inter Milan and Roma, I think these two teams might sneak a surprise next season.
No, we hope.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Roma though.
Yeah, I don't agree. Yes. I don't agree with Roma. Roma has got a very bad habit of falling very short at times.
AC Milan going to be a very surprising team next season.
Roma is a serial premature ejaculation team. They always fall short.
They give you the hope.
Them to perform. They give you hope, and then they all come crashing down.
It's game over.
They have done it consistently. They're consistently being inconsistent. That's the only good thing about them. There's another concern with Pirlo in Juventus, where the media is going to hype up Pirlo, Cristiano. There's always going to be that media play up on rivalry. The things are not going well in the changing room. That would be a factor as well, and that would put unnecessary spotlight, a strain on relationship between the players. It bound to happen, and it would be interesting to see how Pirlo is going to manage this. He's an aristocrat, and he's the type of cool, composed, and it will be interesting to watch him gaining command of the team. Yeah, as a player, he might have received the respect, but as a coach who is untested, no coaching history, no coaching success, how to command that respect? You see, that's what happened to Barcelona. Setien was he was a nobody. Same with Pochettino. You eventually need to gain respect, and if you don't get that, he's already, I don't know. It's a knee-jerk reaction to get him on board. And I think Juventus is going to pay for it. As Aaron said, they are a team that piled up players. He have not just a job of inspiring the team, coaching the team, preparing the team. Now he has to manage with so many other things as well. He has too many things on his plate. Would that be a how to say? Is that going to be? Could he be the person who's capable of managing all this? As a player, he did. Let's see how he does as a coach, how he manages the changing room. That would be the biggest talking point next season when the season starts.
It's almost like a football manager situation, I feel.
Yes. Dave, we have a question here. Will Morata go to Juventus as Pirlo requested? What do you all think? Will he be able
Pirlo really requested for it? Have Pirlo really requested for it?
Pirlo did mention he prefers Morata to be back. There was a news about that.
Yeah, but there are also talks going on that you want to sell Paulo Dybala as well, but I don't know how true it is. If that's true, then
news. He wants Pogba back, so My News open for that offer.
Suddenly, Juventus has an even bigger checkbook than Man City, man.
Yeah.
Are you?
Okay, I mean, Alan, you mentioned earlier that they have done a smart signings, but I would decline that because I mentioned they've also done some huge signings which doesn't make sense. He's right. Ronaldo going for huge amount. Dybala's transfer, Higuain. So their books almost equivalent, you can say, in both sides. They have done these sneaky bargains, free transfers, but that has gone the limelight that people has forgotten the huge transfer fees they have paid for other players. Like the Miller they bought over from Dortmund. Those are big money.
So I think with Juventus, the problem the problem that I foresee is that they've got a lot of players that are on very, very high salaries, high wages. It's a bit tough to try and keep all of them. I think if you, like, for instance, Ronaldo, they didn't exactly spend a transfer fee per se to get him, actually, right? It's just that they got to take on his wage, his monstrous wage. And then to sign Dybala to a new contract, you also have to pay him a monstrous wage, right? Getting him from Palermo was cheap. Now it's just maintaining these guys, right? Higuain, I mean, he also, he came for cheap. It's just a matter of paying him. And then when you look at Emre Can, that came in as well, they got to pay him. Matuidi, they've got to pay him, right? Look at Buffon, Bonucci, and all these fellas, right? Chiellini, Ramsey, right? The list goes on, right? Don't forget Cuadrado, and is it Danilo that they got from Man City in that they swapped? They got Danilo instead, right? So all these guys on massive, they're on massive wages, dude, and I don't think they can even keep up. So yes, they've done an FM, right, whereby they've bargain hunted. They've got a lot of players for cheap or for free wages. And if you have a squad of 30 over players and you have to pay everyone more than 100,000, right, per week, or even 100,000 bi-weekly, right? That's not cheap. Like, can they even keep up with it? So now I think they have to think real hard about who they have to sell and let go first, and who they want to keep, and at least give Pirlo that foundation of a first team that he can work with to try and get results. I mean, as you mentioned, he's pretty green in this in this, right? He signs on as the under 23 manager, and then next minute, bam, surprise! It's not Pochettino, guys. It's Pirlo who's the manager of Juventus, right? And I mean, he'll get the respect from the players, that's for sure, because they're all his ex-teammates. But then again, stepping into the role as a manager when you have to cut certain players, right? Does he have it in him? He might have it. I mean, he looks like the guy that silently will do what it takes for the club to move forward. But now it's a matter of how much control does he have. I mean, Morata going to Juventus again, I feel it's just a rumor, because you have Dybala, Higuain, and Ronaldo. What's Morata going to do?
Okay, can Higuain, Ronaldo, and Dybala play in the same team? And because I don't see them actually being a good striking partner.
I think they can work, but a lot of it goes down even deeper. So if you watch Juventus when Allegri was in charge, before Allegri it was Conte, right? So when you watch Juventus during Conte's time up until now, and you look at the squad and the players in the squad, does Juventus even play with a trident normally? They play wide, they play with wing backs, right? And they invest heavily in their wing backs, and they sit very deep with a lot of defenders, and they usually play with more defensive midfields, or rather anchors, than they do with more adventurous midfielders, because they've got their front three, and then they've got two wide players, so eventually they overload with 5 or maybe even 6 players up front. So then when you've got all these players, and then throughout from Conte right up until now with Sarri, right? I don't think Sarri's tactics even fit the way the team is used to being played. They played with under Conte. They've played with wing backs, very adventurous wing backs, and that's how they played. Even under Allegri, they've done that. So the team has been like that for the past couple of years, and then all of a sudden, Sarri comes in with Sarri ball, which isn't exactly the same tactics, right? And that's failed.
Yep.
And then now Pirlo comes in. Will Pirlo adopt the same tactics as Conte and Allegri, or will he come up with his own, or will he adapt something else? Will he even, like, let's just say, take something from Jurgen Klopp's playbook, or maybe even Guardiola's playbook? Will the team even be able to cope with a change of tactics, or do they have the players? I think they need to change it up. They definitely are very, very set in their ways for a long time. And I think this season is a wake-up call for them to at least change it up. I was actually very surprised that Pochettino didn't get the job, because he would have definitely, stirred things up a bit. He would have rocked the boat. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to trust in Nedved and all, right?
Okay, but talking about Pochettino, Pirlo was the third choice, because they did, according to rumors, they went for Zidane and Pochettino first, but couldn't pay because of the compensation they had to pay for Sarri. So would this also influence the decision bringing in Pirlo, and would it also impact on their transfer window? What would be the first two things that Pirlo has to do, key thing to get it right in Juventus?
Who wants to go first?
They should, I think Juventus could have gone with a more experienced alternative in Pochettino, or even bought Massimiliano Allegri back. But I think this would have meant the manager asking for an investment in the squad, which the board cannot afford in the current COVID-19 situation. So I think Pirlo has to be the choice, and he is the only choice they have right now. And Pirlo understands the club and how the system works. He knows the players. He understands what it takes to be a successful with the club, and I believe it's a gamble, like what Juventus did with Antonio Conte in 2011. So it's going to be a big gamble, and I feel that they should have gone for Pochettino or even Massimiliano.
But Dave, Conte had prior coaching experience. He was still with the reserve team. So if you're talking about gamble, huge risk. It's a massive gamble. No one knows how Pirlo is going to play. I mean, let's just say Pirlo comes in. Where does he need to buff up first? Which position?
I think he has all the players that he needs in every department. He doesn't have to buy anyone anymore. He just have to get them to use to what he needs, what he wants to deploy into the pitch, and what philosophy that he has into the pitch. But just play the game that Pirlo needs them to play, and try to win the Serie A probably for the first year.
Okay, are we looking at Juventus going on the same downline what AC Milan? They also went with their Gattusos, their Seedorfs, their legends, but did not work out. Things went sour.
Yeah.
Are we going to look on the same wavelength? Is there possibilities on this?
That's highly likely that for to happen. I think it's something in their spaghetti or pizza to give untested former legends, former superstars a chance. If it works, it's a massive brownie points. Oh, we give our legend a chance, and everyone looking to get another Zidane. Everyone wants to be a Zidane, next Zidane. That's what they're aiming at. But it's a sign of desperation. Second, maybe money, transfer fees, and compensation, and so on. It's for me, I say it's a lose-lose position for the player turning into a coach, and for the club. But if it works, a massive payoff. It's a massive payoff. But as you said, it's a trend now in Serie A. Not a lot of success stories. Hopefully, Pirlo becomes a success story, the next Zidane. But the jury is still out on this. I hope my opinion is that he will fall short. I want him to be successful. You don't want anyone to fail, but there's so many holes in the plan. So that's the issue. There's so many holes in the plan. Where would it be successful? The possibility of successful is very, very less compared to the factors that he's going to have, the things going to be on his plate. I wouldn't want to be an ex-Juve player or any player, any legendary players in Syria. Suddenly they shove things in your throat and then they expect something to work.
It's definitely a massive gamble, that's for sure. I mean, if you talk about ex-players doing well, Lazio has got Inzaghi, and he's had experience, right? I mean, Gattuso, he took the Milan job a bit too soon, but he's getting it done at Napoli. Conte is another example. A lot of them had experience of sorts before they actually stepped into such a big role. I think Juventus will fall very short next season, or if worst case scenario, Pirlo actually gets the sack before maybe 10 games in or something like that, right? And if things don't go their way, they sack him, and it's not a loss because they didn't actually have to fork out much for him. In terms of players, they definitely need to get some youth in. I don't think spending so much money on Arthur and losing Pjanic was the right thing. Rugani hasn't stepped up. Dybala, like, okay, if you were to look and break the team up into sections, right, from the attack to the midfield to the defense, can you name, or can any one of us name more than 2 players who is below 25 or an average age of 25 that is the future for Juventus? Like in attack, you can only name Dybala. In midfield, you could most probably only name Arthur, Bentancur, and Bernardeschi.
Arthur is 25, right? It's 25. Right?
24, I think 24, 22-24. Then you've got Bernardeschi, who's 25, right? Then you've got so midfield looks a bit safe. But then in defense, who do they have? Right? And then obviously keeper, that you have nothing but experience all the way at the back. So it's a huge gamble. I don't think they will lose a lot of money if things don't go well, because I mean it is a thing these days to sack managers after 5 games or so. And then they'll just hire someone else, or they'll pay the money to get someone else more qualified. If anything, they're almost pulling off a Barcelona.
Sena, I think Ole can survive better than Pirlo.
Obviously, because we all know Ole has experience. The thing that we are talking about now, Pirlo lacks the experience. Of course, we don't want Pirlo to fail. We don't want anyone to fail, actually. But there is a gut feel. There is a gut feel telling me that Pirlo won't. Yeah, he will fall short.
Because see,
it's a big gamble. It's a big gamble.
With Juventus winning 9 seasons back to back, they're at the top. They have not lost the Serie A for some time. Inter is very close. I mean, if Conte gets few more signings, I think they'll be just neck to neck. And it will be the pressure on the papers, the medias, everyone will be back at Pirlo. Can he handle that? And again, remember when same things all guts here. When the news got blocked out, Sarri was going to get sacked, the first 3 person that knew was Ronaldo, Bonucci, and Chiellini. Will this be the same influence of politics in Barca Juventus is facing?
I think we have seen Gattuso's English interview. Sometimes good, sometimes shit. So this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
I think top 4 predictions for Serie A next season, whether Juventus takes first, I mean, they'll definitely be in top 4. Whether they take first or not is a different thing. I think Inter will be there. Lazio will definitely be there. And Lazio, I think they're on that stretch where they can actually win something, right? I don't think Napoli will be there, because unless they bring in massive changes, like they've spent on that Nigerian striker from Lille. I think AC Milan, maybe. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, they definitely need to beef things up. I mean, right now Zlatan is leading the charge.
I think they've been underdog next season because Atalanta has been successful the last 2 years in their attack. The goals scored, they've been top there. The issues has been their defense. If they can get it right next season, can we see someone else lifting the Serie A after a long time? Because the gap is not big.
I think next season someone different will lift it. Juventus, I doubt, will lift it next season.
I was hoping for Lazio, actually. I was hoping Lazio to sign David Silva, actually, but we know what happened.
Drama, dude, drama.
The Lazio board actually kind of pissed with him. So if they had signed David Silva, I would have picked Lazio to win Serie A next season.
Silva would have just made it much more.
Yeah.
Yep. Lazio was actually my pick to win it this season, or at least come close, very, very close.
Atlanta, interesting.
Atalanta, I mean, because if you look back at Italian football also in general, there are not many players. I mean, they are still trying to revive back the whole league. You don't see top players here and there. So the gap between the top teams and the lower teams, even their mid-range team, is very obvious. So in that sense, I think Pirlo will have his play. He would have his time, but his challenge would be in the Champions League. If they get knocked off early, group stage or round of 16,
gone.
We might see some hard calls being called.
Gone.
But it's funny because if you look back, I guess, at what Juventus was saying when they sacked Sarri, it was because they fell very short in Europe, and that was their priority, right? Like to them, Syria, close eyes, they should be winning it even in their sleep. They should be winning it, right? Although it's pretty foolish of them to say such a thing. And they were gunning for Europe, and then now they get Pirlo. What kind of a statement is that to get an inexperienced manager and say that we should be winning European titles, but you get someone like this? It's a gamble. It's a huge gamble, of course.
I mean, okay, will they be going down the same road with AC Milan? I mean, AC Milan had their aging squad. They didn't get them after Ancelotti left. They didn't get their managers right. They didn't get their signings right. They went on a complete downhill. Are we going to see Juventus doing on the same line?
No.
Signs of that? No.
I always see Juventus as Italian Man United. AC Milan. The commercial value of Juventus is too high. Milan, yes, they were there, the success they had and everything, but things gone wrong for them. But I don't see Juventus gonna be the same as AC Milan. Like how we know people ask in the English Premier League whether United gonna be like a Liverpool in the early 90s. I've been always saying this, like, United not gonna be like a Liverpool. Like
they're hitting that it's 8 years.
Yes, I know it's 8 years, but see, they have finished top 4. They're gonna play in Champions League, things like that. Like we all know, Milan's downfall it's quite sad to see. They're not in the Champions League for how many years now? It's quite some time.
For me, it's the top down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clear difference is the top. Juventus's board and the way the club is being run is very different from Milan. And I think when Milan had their heyday, they were ruled by an iron fist.
Yes.
Safe to say, right? They were ruled by an iron fist. Everything was set, and that's how they won. They got the right coach, they got the right players, and they won. And then you look at AC Milan now; they're a shadow of what they once were. The board is in shambles. They're mostly looking at how they can commercialize the club to make money, right? And matters on the pitch have completely gone out the window. I mean, yeah, okay, they got Pioli in. He's doing a good job stabilizing the club, but there's got to be more, right? I think the questions will be what's next for them? What else can they do? Whereas Juventus already did all the hard work with the top, and then now it's just trying to fix stuff on the pitch.
I mean, I see Juventus as a clear plan because you look at their backline signings, Delete and Demir. That means there was a clear signing of getting the younger ones to come in and replace the old guards. So they start from the back. It's very clear. Bringing back Buffon was nothing much. It's just to give his running experience to Szczesny.
Yeah.
So they're starting just from the back towards the front.
The fact that sorry to interrupt, the fact that the EPL, the lower half teams giving a fight for the United, they going there and then think they can get something from a match, a win, a draw, made a difference in United's downfall. But when you look at Juventus, they are still, the quality they possess is still the gap is still too big between the teams at the lower half. So some matches, that Juventus not going to drop points, the win is there. So if there's a decline with Juventus, it won't be an 8th place finish or second half of the league. So they would drop 2 or 3 rungs. That's the most. So there's always that gap you can catch up faster compared to United, where the drop was drastic because the other teams are competitive. The bottom team can beat you, or Watford can beat you, but it's harder to see that in Serie A. The player quality and the league quality is a factor. I believe it is a factor on how far you can fall from grace. I believe that would be the story. If how much the other teams, the bottom half teams, can derail the top teams. We saw it how much City fell.
Yes,
they're dropping points all over the place.
We have a question
Fiorentina,
from Hassan.
Barcelona. Yep.
Let's focus on this. Okay.
Sure.
Do we think that Atalanta players will be on demand now? And who do you guys think will be going out?
Ooh. I think if they don't do if they really want to compete or at least build on the success of this season, they should not sell a single one.
Yeah.
They should not sell a single player, right? It's pretty straightforward. Don't sell because you're going to lose half the team.
Do we see Juventus coming and poaching these players? Any one of them? Because for now, there's no rumors about anyone going for their players, but do we see any of the big teams?
If anything, Juventus might go in for their wing backs because they've got the youth out wide, right? And if that's the same style and tactic that PIRRLOOO will adopt and use, then chances are they will go in for them. I don't think they'll go in for any of their midfield or attacking players because they are also of the same age as the Juventus players, the old guard. So it's no point you replace like for like.
Okay, a quick one about Juventus from all of y'all. What's your prediction with Juventus next season? Would they end up with? Let's go with Alan.
Yeah, man. I think top 3 for me.
Champions
top 3
League?
is very. Champions League, maybe not. I think it's a very hard prediction because of the way football is nowadays. Like, I don't think they'll win the title next season. That is for sure, right? But whether they finish in the top 3 or top 5 or so, right? It really depends. Like, okay, let's just say they have a rough start and they sack PIRRLOOO after 10 games, and who else they bring in, to help steady the ship. So all these factors come into play. I just don't see them winning the title. This coming season. I really don't. I can't see them winning it.
What?
No, I agree with Aaron here. I don't think they can win the Serie A next season. I mean, my personal wish as well. They've been winning for 7 seasons in a row.
9 seasons, bro. 9 seasons.
9 seasons. 9 seasons.
It's a monopoly.
So it's time for the likes of Inter Milan, Lazio. I don't think Napoli will be there. But I think eventually Juventus will finish top 3 or top 4. They're good enough for that. Champions League, no chance. I don't think they can win it. Italian Cup, yep, maybe, because it's a knockout competition. You never know. That's it. Serie A, I don't think they can win. I hope PIRRLOOO proves me wrong, but the question now is whether he will stay for the whole season next season.
That's the biggest question.
It's the biggest question.
Dave, what about you?
I have to agree with Puva. They will not win Serie A. Neither do they will win Champions League. But I don't think Juventus will finish top 6. They will struggle. If they still keep PIRRLOOO even after 5-6 games and they drop points, and if they don't go for the better prospects of manager, they might not even make it to Europa next season. I mean, the following season, or even winning Coppa Italia. I can't see them doing anything better. The players that they have right now are actually aging, and they're losing the lump, and they're losing their passion, or even they're just, you see, these players are aging, so I don't think they will make the top 6, and they will struggle.
I think.
Raja, what about you?
I think they're going to. It's an inter season. Next year they're going to be the champion, and PIRRLOOO will have 10 games to prove himself, and that's all. I don't think it's even worth talking about Champions League. I don't think they will be looking at that picture yet. Maybe farewell for Cristiano. He would win one of the local competition.
An award or something.
Yeah, that's it. And goodbye before joining PSG. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to
Seeing
see
him play
Lazio winning the Serie A.
Okay, Sena is confident that Pirlo will be doing well. Okay, but
Sena
I
saying
think
that because he's
Gamble,
an Italian
dude.
fan.
I need
Sena
to
saying
smoke
that because he's an
what
Italian
Sena
fan.
smoking.
Dude, big gamble, man. Big
No,
gamble,
no.
dude.
Sena
No,
is a big Italian fan, so he want the Italian to do well. Yeah, he's an
All right.
Italian fan.
Then I
Yeah,
guess
but it
Sena?
maybe he
gamble.
can drop a prediction as how many games before Pirlo gets sacked.
Yes. I think he'll be there until December.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's the longest.
38.
Oh,
But I
sounds
do-
like he's winning every game.
no, 38 games means he's not winning. 38 games, then done. They say thank you for your service for the year. Let's
Yep.
appoint
Yep.
someone else for this year.
The under 18 manager.
Barcelona.
But don't we think it's a short-term measure done by them? Maybe while they are browsing for other managers, Pirlo is just a stopgap. No
Yeah,
cost.
possible.
I do hope they are doing a Moyes United. What Moyes was United. I hope this guy, but it's too big of a name to be thrown at the Sharks. This is, I have no idea. Still, I can't come up with a how to say. Why would you want to do this? It's a lose-lose situation. This guy is your legend. If he flops, end of his career, end of his adulation. And it's going to affect the club as well. Why would you want to do this? What are you guys smoking at? This is just no any how to say no common sense involved. You think it anyway. You think when you're drunk, when you're high, you can't still think of why they come out with this decision.
I mean,
It's an
sad
FM
to
move.
see.
It's an
Rajan,
FM
I
move.
think Moyes is not the correct example. Gary Neville will be the correct example.
Yeah, that's it. You're pulling off a
Yeah.
balance here.
Yes,
Yep.
we don't say much. Gary Neville, perfect example. Okay, guys, let's go to the hottest topic of the day.
Ooh,
Barcelona.
ooh.
What happened? 8-2, 4-1 down, 4-1 the second half. Bayern was simply toying with them. I mean, if it's not for the saves and the misses, it'll be a double-digit scoreline.
Yep. No, it's not even Bayern Munich's best display of the season. That's the reality.
I mean,
No, that's the
we
reality.
can talk.
True.
Bayern
Agree.
played well,
Agree with
but
you.
it wasn't their best match.
Yeah, it wasn't their best match. I mean, Barcelona made it too easy for Bayern Munich. You know, we can actually, I can pinpoint few names there. Even Sergio Busquets as a defensive midfield, way past his best. He was too slow. He wasn't marking players, the attacking players. We know how good was Jordi Alba and how poor he was. Not only against Bayern the whole season. Suarez, despite scoring, we all know how many touches he had the whole game.
Yes, he
I
had
saw somewhere.
He had
Yeah.
9 touches in.
Yes.
That was most touches. 9
So
from the
that,
middle of the park.
yeah, that says it. So, I mean, apart from this match, as a whole, the whole season, they Barcelona finished the season without winning anything for the first time since when? 2007, 8.
I think it's been
After 13 years.
For 13 years.
After
Yeah,
13
yeah.
years.
13 years.
13
After
years.
13 years. It's been 13 years since they last finished the season trophyless. So, yes. For me, the main issue was the inexperience and ineffective signings and recruitment they did in the past, I would say, 3 seasons. They spent over 300 millions on 3 players, Philippe Coutinho, Griezmann. For me, these signings, they are big names. Of course, we agree they are big names. They are world-class players, but they are inactive. We all know Griezmann's best position. Can anyone tell me?
Playing off
Griezmann's
the
best position. Yes, he did that in France national team. He did that with Atletico Madrid, and he flourished. But what position Griezmann played for Barcelona? Can anyone tell me? None of their managers got it right.
Even
when he come on, he played as a winger. Yeah, they played him. They played him as a right wing, left wing, attacking midfield.
Yep.
Yeah, and this season he spent most of the time in the bench. So the signings without any motive, that's what we call without any motive, just for the sake of buying. They just buy players. They let go Neymar. They replaced him with Griezmann. And they also bought the Brazilian from what's the name?
Oh, they had a few. They had
also
Malcolm.
Winger.
They had
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Yes,
he's gone.
Yes,
he's gone to Russia.
Yeah,
he's gone to
gone.
Zenit, right? And then
wasted.
to replace Neymar, they bought Dembele.
Yes, they wasted at least 5 or 6 players. They bought, wasted, and the sad thing is, Messi last won the Champions League when he was 27, 28. They actually wasted his best years. He's 33 now. I know it's easy for people to jump on Messi and saying that, oh, see, you are a flop, you're overrated, you never turn up. Can anyone tell me that which player can turn up on that match when you have players like that around you? You can't do a defensive job. You can't do a left back job, right back job. Everyone were poor on the day, like the Semedo, Alba, my center back. I was kind of disappointed with Sergio.
He's in pain. I mean, yeah.
No.
I feel you. I feel you.
No,
Totally
the one reason is they are my Spanish club. I always been rooting Barcelona since Rivaldo era. So it's a sad thing to since Rivaldo era. So it's a sad thing to see them got demolished like that. 8-2 it's a disgrace. It's their heaviest defeat ever in Europe. Stuff like this, and then the all pinpoint on Messi for their downfall. I think it's quite harsh on the man. For me, if it was Ronaldo on Messi's position, he would have left 2-3 years ago itself. I'm very sure about it.
I think the writings were on the wall for a long time, dude. I think it wasn't just manager or the signings. I think, if you look from the top down, the board itself, the politics killed the club, right? I think there's one thing they have in common with Malaysia: the politics is real bad, and that ruined the club big time. The writing was on the wall because when you look at the era when they had Frank Rijkaard and then they had Pep Guardiola, right?
Yeah.
Why would Pep have left the club, right? And after his departure, right, they were just on a slow decline. And this is just the culmination of years of bad politics that has finally exploded in one match, and it's pretty much shown everyone just how bad Barcelona really is now. They've fallen really badly. I don't even think they've even done a proper job of thinking about plan B or plan C, like life after Messi, right? Life after the old guard. Who's going to step in? None of the youth recruits have been pushed up from La Masia into the first team, right? You look at the players that they have. They've loaned them out from Elena, right? And then you've got like Fatih, who's on the bench. And when you look at that Bayern Munich game and you look at the formation that they went with, right? I've never ever seen Barcelona play with that kind of formation ever in my life. I don't think any Barcelona fan, any football fan has ever seen that kind of formation, right?
Yes.
Vidal was literally playing behind Messi and Suarez.
And
that was their trident.
Despite how poor he was there for until the last minute, right? He never got substituted.
Yeah.
Vidal played the entire game.
Exactly. Nothing.
I mean,
and
your midfield for only De Jong played well. Aside from De Jong, Vidal was gone, Busquets was gone, Sergio Roberto left. He was disaster.
He was disaster. He was shambolic. Like the politics ruined the club, right? They've had how many managers come and go, right? Everyone trying to implement their own ideas when everyone knows that, come on, Barcelona only knows to play one way, which is their way, right? All the players come up from the club only know how to play that way, and they don't take any players from La Masia, and it's ruined them big time. They wasted so much money on players that doesn't fit the club, right? Look at Dembele. He's been out injured for how long? And they still keep him, right? They're still paying his salary. And then you look at everyone else. They're still there. They haven't even done anything at all. And everyone thinks that, oh, if you sack the manager and you change the manager, that's going to fix things. You think Koeman's actually going to make a difference?
No.
I don't think so.
Flopped at Everton. Koeman flopped at Everton.
9 games, was it? And then he got sacked?
Yes.
Yeah, let's not forget. Koeman spent 187 million, highest spending in Everton.
Highest spending in Everton history.
9 matches, off he goes. Can he make it? With Everton having the patience to hold onto their managers. With Barca, he will not have the same patience.
I wonder why both Barcelona and Juventus take time in appointing their managers. I don't know why.
I think they someone's losing a coin toss. And what's worse is that I read that Koeman was actually second choice, if I'm not mistaken. Setien was actually third. So they couldn't get Koeman, they got Setien instead. So they're going backwards. Right?
Yes.
You put your third choice first, he's failed, you got your second choice. So I don't understand how this is a fix, right? I think if I was Koeman, I'd take the job. I put a huge release clause in my contract. If you fire me, right, you pay me a huge amount of money, right? And that's it. And basically that's it. Whether I believe they should get rid of Messi or not, I think they shouldn't. But I think in terms of other players, they should get rid of like Suarez, PK, Busquets, Griezmann, Dembele, Vidal. Dude, how in the world did anyone ever think Vidal was Barcelona material? Do you think like how? Like it just didn't make sense, right? Like transfers just didn't make sense. And Umtiti wasn't even playing. Right? At one point he was one of the best centre backs in the world. And then he doesn't get a game for Barcelona. They want to sell him. It's a mess, right? And they don't sell Umtiti, but PK is still there. They take a chance on Lenglet, who's very green, right? And he gets absolutely harassed by Lewandowski in that game, right?
Yes.
I mean, come on, man. Like look at if you look at the stats for the game itself, Bayern Munich had 55% possession. How is Barcelona losing out a possession game when that is their bread and butter? Right?
It's long gone.
It is shambolic. And people say, yeah, you blame the manager. Okay, if you put Pep back again, would Pep even want to come back in to take charge of this team with this kind of board sitting above him?
The second Valverde just showed that it was pure politics because there was no reason to sack him. Barcelona was riding high. They were getting things right. Setien came in, they lost the league, and the teams were in shambolic since that day. No formations, no I mean, we have never seen Barcelona playing 4-4-2.
Yes.
You have central midfielder playing. How do you play that? I mean, tactical wise, let's even go tactical on Bayern against them. You have Alphonso Davies, one of the fastest wing backs there. To team up with Sergio Roberto, that's it. And you have Kimmich who will drop into the middle. There were no running players. So tactically gone.
I mean, Barcelona could even pass the ball. Yes. And I think that says quite a fair bit, right? And if they can't pass the ball and their entire football was built on just this, then don't you think that they are very far off, right? They surrendered the league to Real, right? All credit to Real Madrid. They worked very hard after the restart to try and get the points. They ground out the victories, the points, but Barcelona threw the lead away.
Players we should not go. I mean, players we should go not because of they are not good, but because good is a ceiling they can hope to achieve as a club. I think they had just had enough mediocrity and difficulty. You look at the squad, like Suarez can go, Griezmann, Dembele, Vidal, Blake, PK, Rakitic.
The Danish striker, yeah.
Busquets, Firpo, Roberto, Umtiti, Alba. You can just name Neto, Fernandez, Rafinha, Pjanic, Coutinho. They have to replace all these players. Coutinho maybe not, but if they have to sell him because he just scored for Bayern.
Yeah.
So, it should be what it is. Whoever thinks otherwise is find a new club that is backed by Qatar Sports investment because it's okay for them to just wait in success in terms of money and fame here at Barcelona. They need quality and result, not players, not players.
Agree. I mean, it's a mess.
They just it's a total mess. It's a total mess. The club, like someone said just now, Barcelona just hadn't recovered from the corner taken quickly.
Yeah. Still hot stuff today.
The fact that fitting square pegs in round hole all these years have accumulated to this end product of this bashing. But again, as Aaron said, the writing was on the wall. Everyone knew this is the eventuality, this is what's going to happen, the train going to get derailed, and it happened miserably for Messi. Again, I agree that we shouldn't be blaming Messi individually for this mistake. There's nothing much this man can get the team going. How much you can get things from him?
But the sad truth is, he is becoming a problem for Barcelona, allowing the wonderful, so slow start to set the tempo for the club. This has been a disaster for them.
Besides this match, Messi's contribution to the match, I think his impact, his clashes with his coach earlier, the rumors, the disharmony in the changing room, that was his biggest thing that brought down the team compared to his performance on pitch on that day. I think whatever happened, what was reported, that was the reason why. You can see the players have no springs in their step. Everyone was disinterested. Everyone was just, it was just a funeral.
You can talk about the seventh goal. It was the saddest thing to see. Lionel Messi comes back to his own half to get the ball, turns around and scans to who to pass. He has no option. Felipe Coutinho at 1 o'clock, and someone, if I remember, Lucas Hernandez was back at 2, and David Alaba stepping forward at 12. What are they doing? Tolisso was closer at 11 o'clock. So Thiago in. Where are all his teammates? The closest is Frankie de Jong across the pitch at 9 o'clock. But as Messi tries to pass the ball to de Jong, somebody's big foot just appears to knock the ball away from towards Thiago. So he had missed Roberto Lewandowski sneaking up from 6 o'clock. So Bayern charge forward. Messi decides there is no point in chasing back. Thiago passes to Muller. Coutinho scored. That was pretty easy.
True.
So this is a disaster. It's just becoming a disaster for Barcelona without being noticed for many years. They have to replace him. He has to go.
I feel they need to call the election sooner. They can't have it next year, March.
Yep.
It's just another. It's like a Netflix series. They just got another season renewed. It's going to be a real shit show. It's going to be a real shit show next season for them again because, what kind of wholesale changes are you expected to make? First of all, you can't sell 90% of your team because your release clause is above 100 million for each player. Which team in this current economic instability is going to spend that kind of money on a player, right? You can't sell the players, but you still have to get rid of them somehow. You got to push the youngsters up into the first team, which you should have done many years back, and that's not been done, right? And then somehow you've got to stop Abidal from pissing Messi off, and then them having infighting.
Abidal wasn't it?
Eric Abidal is if I'm not mistaken, he's one of the directors in the club.
Technical director, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, technical director. And he had a public spat with Messi. He actually literally called out the players, and Messi was like, you don't do that. And it went on, right? And I mean, look at it from top down. They've messed up big time from top down, right? And
I guess in Barcelona, there's someone thinking that making more and more money is what football clubs are meant for.
Taking a page out of Najib's book.
Yeah.
Politics. I got to win that election, man. I got to win that election.
They turn into a Real Madrid buying players that they don't need. They turn into what they hated, and now they are paying the price. And hopefully they realize that what they have turned into and try to turn it around. But as like Aaron said, one more season of extension, you can see the consequences of not doing this earlier going to drag for one more season, and most probably Messi going to retire in disgrace. His reputation tarnished.
Let's talk about Messi being carrying. We say he's the best player, been carrying the team around. Has the other players performed? I mean, we have a comment here from Vignesh who mentions that Sturgeon has flopped at the crucial games. Even we talk about this today, or the biggest game of the season, he does mistakes, and he just decides to have his worst game.
Against Bayern, it was one of his worst game ever. His ball distribution was poor. Like, it was too easy for the Bayern's front three to get the ball from the defenders, because Ter Stegen also responsible for that.
Yeah,
he was very poor.
So are we telling that Barca has been depending too much on Messi, that other players has been taking it lightly? They always assume Messi will bail them out?
After Xavi and Iniesta, yes, they were depending on Messi a lot.
I think it's a transition. Obvious. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, but I think it's also a transition because, you have the old guard there who have nothing to worry about because their name's on the first sheet every game, right? Yeah. Who's that kid that's going to come and rock the boat and replace these guys and tell them, hey, look, old man, if you don't step up, right, I'm taking your place, right? They've had none. And then these guys are just there for how many years, right? So for me, I think it's very unfair to just say that Ter Stegen, he made mistakes. I mean, his defense made a lot of mistakes. The midfield made a lot of mistakes, right? Everyone made mistakes, and Ter Stegen eventually, he's also one of them, because it's a domino effect. But I think it's just a case of complacency. To a certain extent, the team has won so much, nothing has been done to shake things, and now they've reached a point where, hey, light bulb moment. I think we should start considering about the future. We should start thinking about the future, right? And yeah, there'll be Barca fans who will most probably say, yeah, they did. If they did, then why did they spend so much money on players that aren't even playing?
I mean, for example, signing of De Jong, was it a right signing for Barca? Because we all know De Jong likes to play at the back of the striker or more to box. But with Barca, they play him, when you play a midfield three far to the left, we don't see him excelling there. But back with Holland, he has his best of his games. So is Barca, it's almost same transfer mistake they did with Coutinho. So is Barca just buying the best players to fit into their formation? We getting the suitable players.
I think with De Jong, for instance, to me, right? If you're getting De Jong to replace Busquets, why is Busquets still playing?
Yes,
right.
Understand.
If you spend money to get Arthur, why did you sell him and get Pjanic?
Yeah.
Right. I think these are all just questions that no one's asking. If you buy Dembele to replace Neymar, why is he not playing? Why do you have issues about him not giving it all during training because he's not gotten enough sleep? He's been playing FIFA the whole night. You have all these questions to ask, and then you get Malcolm, and then he's gone to Zenit. What's the strategy? Where's all this going? Right? You get Firpo from Real Betis. Is he really the kind of player that you should be getting? Right? You get Jean-Claire Todibo, right? And you loan him out to Schalke instead. And he's having a better season at Schalke, right? So I think it's just mistakes. And then Griezmann. And then people talk about Coutinho. Okay, come on. I guess you can't be too emotional about this. Yes, Coutinho is a good player, but did he fit their style? He's doing better at Bayern than he's doing at Barcelona. Griezmann did better at Atletico Madrid than he did at Barcelona, right? And they went and got Vidal. Who's Vidal replacing? Xavi? What's the strategy? Where's all this? This is just mindless, and it's exactly like what was said earlier. They've become the enemy. They are exactly at Real Madrid. They've gone and gotten players just because the president needs to win the election. He's gone and spent money on the big name player, but whether the player fits the team is a totally different issue, right? And then they talk so much about, we've got La Masia, we've got all these kids. They're all out on loan. No one's even in the first team, right? And there are all these questions no one's asking, right? I think these are the more important questions as well. And then at the same time, as mentioned earlier, you've hit rock bottom. Everyone's hit rock bottom, right? PK said he'll leave the club. Messi will leave the club. How much more lower can you go? And yet, elections are not anywhere around the corner. Elections are next year, March.
Do you think
you have enough time?
Is the board getting involved in the player selections? Because despite change of managers, change of hands, you don't see them changing the squad. I mean, it's the same 11 starting in, week out. I mean, it's usual when new managers comes in, there's a tweak, 1 or 2. But with Barca, it's almost the same. So, are we having a hand of God at the back who's deciding on the team?
For me, I believe so. I believe someone's squeezing the manager's balls on who they should play and stuff. I mean, if Suarez is not fit, if he's not on form, I mean, why still play him?
I mean, okay, Suarez is a good example, Alan. I mean, Dembele not fit, doesn't start. Suarez not fit, starts.
Exactly.
That says a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like why? Where are all these questions, right? Like, if Ter Stegen was having such a bad season, why did you sell Sillerson? Why isn't he playing? Right? You bought him for a reason. You bought all these players for a reason, and then it's all gone up in smoke for them, right? So on the board level, they fucked up. They messed up. I'm sorry.
I mean, Barcelona main problem is their own success in the past. I think the ceiling that they hit, they just couldn't contain what they actually achieved in the past, and then it's more becoming a pressure, becoming more kind of things that they need to do. But with the wrong signings, I don't see how far they could go in even in La Liga next season.
I mean, okay, Barca spending wise, every season we see they do spend on huge amount, but on paper you don't see those players along the years. It's just I sign, I let them go, I sign, I let them go. So are we having clashes between who's deciding on the team and who's signing on the players? I mean, Chivi came out and said that Barca need to get the right manager. It doesn't look like Barca needs the right manager. I think Barca just need to restructure everything like how Alan said. They have just go back to pure basics, get new people in, and start back afresh.
A manager doesn't fix. They're not miracle workers, dude. No manager comes in, snaps his fingers, and then the entire club, turns around 360. No such thing, dude.
The reshuffle has to come as soon as possible for them.
So are we seeing
the board?
Yes, Ajay.
You should start from the board. Like Aaron said, managers are not people who can walk on the water, and they should start thinking about the next 5 years. Start from
next
there.
10 years, in fact.
You hit rock bottom already. You should see that it's the way up. You have to dig yourself up. Never mind, you won't get results. It's okay. You start to put things in order. Maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. I hope it's a wake-up call for Barcelona. But as you guys said, the election is a long way off. So let's see who's going to play the Games of Thrones in Barcelona and see who comes up top. There's always someone like who's going to get more from the club as a president and so on, compared to being a club that is successful in football, known for that brand of football. That what would be interesting to see.
Yep.
Okay, guys, last question for the day. Everyone, where do y'all see Barca heading next season? What changes is needed? Alan, maybe you can go first.
That's rough, man, dude. Like, it's definitely Real's title to lose next season. I'm sorry, it's Real's title. Atletico Madrid will most probably be chasing them. I cannot see Barca, doing anything. It'll take them a miracle to try and at least, finish in the top 2 because they're in such disarray, right? They don't even know whether Messi's leaving. They don't even know if he stays, who else stays, right? They're in such a mess, and the season's going to start when, right? Do they even have enough time to turn things around? I don't think so. It's a mess. It's a big mess, and I think it's Real's title to lose next season.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Real Madrid's title to lose next season. They are in much better shape. I think the signings they have made last season or last 2 seasons, I think it makes sense. It really makes sense. The sensible signings, we would say, the sensible signing, unlike Barcelona's signings, like without any motive. They wasted the money on few players. Yes, Real Madrid gonna retain the title for me. When I Barca don't miss out on Champions League, that would be disaster for them. Imagine if Barca miss out on Champions League. I don't think it would happen. They should be good enough to finish top 4, but yeah, let's see. Champions League, no chance.
At 9 for Koeman still?
I don't think there's a Champions League for Barcelona next season.
No Champions League, no La Liga. Probably they should go all out to win their favorite competition, which is Copa del Rey. Yeah. They always do well in that competition. So
it's still silver, I guess.
End of the day, it's still a silverware. So it won't be a disastrous season next season. If they finish top 2, top 3, and they go and win the Copa del Rey, and in Champions League, let's say they go until quarterfinal, I think it's not a
for rebuilding, right? It's not too bad.
Yes,
right?
For a process, they have to trust in the process, especially Barcelona fans. They should trust in the process. But I'm really worried on Koeman, man.
Yeah.
I think
will he stay?
The way the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona operating when it comes to sacking their managers, the time they give to the managers to rebuild their team, I doubt so whether Koeman will stay beyond next season or not. If let's say
10 matches flat, that's it.
Yes.
Goodbye.
If let's say first 10 matches, only 5 wins and couple of draws and defeats, he's gone.
He's gone.
For sure, he's gone.
He's going to put Rafa Benitez.
Rafa?
Why not?
Why not?
I don't know. I
Rafa Benitez won't fit into Barcelona's philosophy, Barcelona's profile, and of course he's ex-Real Madrid man, all this stuff. But he is someone that
the next
knows
5
how
years?
to win games. Yes.
Why
not?
I have something to ask you. Do you know that Risto Stoichkov actually said to Bartomeu to actually sign Alfonso Davies months before Bayern came on board? He said, "Thank you very much, Mr. Canadian." And look at him now.
I mean,
It's on course to
Davies, you have to give credit to Bayern because he came in as a winger. They shifted him to a wing back, and they found
wing back. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's excelling well. So I mean, regardless where is he coming from, I think Barcelona should have made the right signing. So it's tough for them.
So Rajan, what's your take on Barcelona?
Okay. 10 games for Koeman, and they're not going to be in top 3. Unfortunately, not top 3. Maybe quarterfinals of the Champions League. That's it. I don't see. It's going to be a harsh wake-up call for them, and a rebuilding will start soon with all these wake-up calls for them. 3 wake-up calls actually. And like Pua said, maybe goodbye winning the Copa del Rey for Messi.
Yes.
Plot twist, they don't even make it past the group stage in the Champions League.
Ooh.
For me, that one and finish and that one and finish outside the top 4 in the league would be unthinkable, man.
Heads will roll.
Never know.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well,
possibility is there. Let's look.
But
Okay,
I
guys.
have a question for all of you guys. I mean, the last
Sure.
one. What do you guys think? Whether Messi will stay or not?
I think he'll stay.
He will stay.
I think he'll stay.
Even
I think
if-
they'll convince him. They'll convince him to stay.
Yeah.
To try and at least have that one swan song or that transition. You know, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, Messi's a class player. Everyone knows that, no doubt. We'll never see another player like him for, I don't know, multiple generations, right?
Yeah.
And for him to look so dejected it's a bad sign for a lot of things.
Keeping Messi on board for the next season would be the most important thing for their build-up process. This is the last guy who epitomes the club, the values of the club. This is the John Cruyff of the generation. So they need to build on him. So having him on the last season, somehow beg him, give him something, just keep him. Doesn't matter what the end product is going to be for the season. Keeping him would be the most crucial part of their rebuilding process. So I believe who else going to buy him? Where else he can go? Don't tell me
City.
City or PSG. City or PSG.
They can pay his wages, dude. They can pay his wages.
Yes, they can pay.
So Cristiano and Messi in PSG.
Why not?
FFP comes
That's the
knocking.
craziest thing ever. That's the craziest thing ever.
Bonjour.
FFP no more exists. FFP no more exists.
Yeah.
Okay, I do feel Messi needs to go because
Ooh.
remember the last time Barca rebuilt Ronaldinho's era? They let him go. They started back from scratch with Messi. That is what needed now. Yes, Messi has been great. He brought them up. He lifted them. But we have to stop. And
There was a transition, dude. There was a transition.
There was someone there. Messi was there too.
No, Messi came in. Messi came in. There was one season. Guardiola took over, but then Ronaldinho left the following season. Because
no, correct.
Guardiola
But during Frank Rijkaard's time, Ronaldinho was there, and then they transitioned Messi in to the team. And then when Guardiola took over, Messi became the man.
focal point.
The man.
Now, if you get rid of Messi, who's gonna be the man? You know, they've got no one, right? It can't be Suarez. They've got no one. It can't be Vidal for sure.
Okay, if you're looking at that, so means you're talking more than one season because that transition happened very fast. They had Guardiola took over. La Masia Academy came in. He knew Iniesta, he knew Busquets. So it was already a team build-up. That means a team was already prepared 5 to 6 years ago. Direct transition, yes. But now talking a very new, fresh team. It's something like how Rijkaard built the team with his Ronaldinho's, with his signings and everything. So that is where key is important. Are they going to keep Messi and build a team around him again? Or take the blunt move, bold move, start fresh, let go one season, come back stronger later?
All in the next episode, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
So that will be the crucial point. Okay. Dave, what about you? On Paul's question.
As I said, they have to start reshuffling the entire squad, or some of them. Messi has to go, like you said. They just have to restart from some point. There has to be a restart, because like I think they just had 212 million, if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere, that they lost for the match day revenue, and then there's a lot of things that they need to the leverage back, the financial wise, unwanted signings. They have to get the right managers, so they have to restart, like the league restarted. A month ago, 2 months ago. So they have to restart.
Okay, guys. Let's wrap up for the day. Before I end, one question to all: who's going to win the Champions League?
Bayern Munich.
Bayern.
Alan?
Bayern.
Oh man, I want Leipzig to win. I want
I'm
some
going-
anarchy and chaos in Germany, man. I want Leipzig to win.
Dave, you?
I'm going for Leon.
Ooh.
Rajan?
He's got
Heart
PSG
says-
written all over his face.
Heart says PSG, brain says Bayern. So I follow brain lah, Bayern.
Okay. I'm going to follow Kelo Navas. Just not lost a game. Let's see. Okay, guys, I think we can keep talking, but it's already 1.5 hours. Let's wrap up the show.
I mean, before wrap up, who's gonna win the Europa League?
Inter.
Oh, Sevilla.
I go
I'm
with
going
Inter.
I
I
go
go
with
with Inter.
underdogs. In the spirit of the underdogs, I'm going with Sevilla as well.
Yeah.
Sevilla is made for Europa League.
Yeah,
They will win it.
Yeah.
it's called the
They're going to
Sevilla
name
League.
themselves Europa League next season.
It's either that or they become the Sevilla League.
But if they win, they go to Champions League.
I mean,
Yeah,
they already qualified Champions League, right?
Yeah.
They finished
Both
fourth.
already
both.
qualified for Champions League.
Yeah.
And
So-
going with the spirit, this season we have seen underdogs getting knocked out. So let's give one for the underdogs. Sevilla, they deserve it. They are there for a reason. We have seen Atalanta go out. So okay, this is the last surviving guy there. Let's back them up.
And they also beaten the great Man United side. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's the biggest point.
Good.
They beat a great United side.
Good.
So it looks like we have all the panels going for Sevilla. Let's see. Okay, what be the scoreline then?
No, I going for Inter.
What be the scoreline, Pua?
2-1
90 minutes.
Inter Milan. 2-1. 2-1
Aaron?
Inter Milan.
I
I
think
think-
it's 2-1 Sevilla.
Yeah,
Dave,
3-1
So
Sevilla.
7.
3-1 Sevilla.
2-1 for Sevilla as well.
Okay. My prediction, penalties, Inter.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. We shall see.
Okay. It's a long night.
Yes. Okay, guys. I think
Alright.
we have to wrap up the day.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone's been watching. Thanks,
Thanks, y'all.
Aaron. Thanks,
All right,
Pua.
thank you.
Thanks,
Nice
Rajan.
chatting with you
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks for being
Alright.
here. Thanks for all the opinions.
Good
Okay,
night, brothers.
we'll meet up in the next
Stay
show
safe.
2 weeks from now, same timing, Tuesday at 9:30. To all the viewers, thanks for your time. Please follow us, subscribe, and like our page. Thank you. Bye.
And
Good night.
Twitter is good.